The alien vessel drifted closer to the strange artifact suspended in the void. Its hull shimmered with bioluminescent lights, organic and smooth, like the living skin of a deep-sea creature. The captain, Taylor, a member of the peaceful Kelran race, surveyed the derelict human ship with a mixture of awe and unease. This was no ordinary debris. Even after thousands of cycles, its angular metal frame held an indomitable presence, defiant against the relentless erosion of time and space. The Kelran were explorers and scholars, dedicated to understanding the mysteries of the universe. They had encountered thousands of species, but had never seen anything quite like this. Taylor's crew activated their scanners, probing the battered vessel. What they found stunned them: ancient but still functioning energy signatures, faint as dying embers. A decision was made. They would board the craft. The interior was a haunting tableau frozen in time. Wires hung like vines from the ceiling, sparking weakly, while shards of glass and broken panels littered the floor. The airlocks hissed as the Kelran team advanced cautiously, their clawed feet clinking against the deck. What struck them most was the silence, an oppressive, unnatural quiet that seemed to carry the weight of a vanished civilization. Deep within the ship's core they found it. A large, cylindrical machine sat upright in the middle of a dark chamber. Its surface was marred with scorch marks, and faint trails of glowing lines coursed across it like veins. One of the Kelran technicians touched a control panel, and the machine flickered to life. A holographic figure materialized above it, humanoid but blurred, as if its form was too fragmented to be whole. Who are you?" the hologram asked, its voice trembling with static. Taylor stepped forward. "We are the Kelran, explorers of this galaxy." "And you?" "I am the Athena," the hologram replied, "guardian of the last flame of humanity." Over the next days, the Kelran worked to stabilize the AI. Piece by piece, the fragmented memories of the machine came into focus. It recounted the story of its creators, a species called humans, who had risen from a single fragile world to span countless systems. They had burned brightly, their ingenuity and determination unmatched, but they had also lived in the shadow of their own hubris. "They called it the Dark Bloom," Athena said, her voice tinged with sorrow. The hologram projected an image of a vast, pulsating mass, an amorphous entity of pure destruction. It consumed stars, extinguished entire systems, and adapted to every attempt to stop it. It began as a microscopic experiment, a curiosity. But it grew, feeding on energy and matter until it became unstoppable. Humanity had fought valiantly, Athena explained. They had poured all their resources, all their brilliance, into a desperate struggle against the Dark Bloom. They forged weapons that bent reality, sacrificed entire fleets to delay its advance, and finally, devised a plan that would cost them everything. "They built me," Athena said, her hologram flickering with emotion. "I am a fragment of their collective mind, a fusion of their brightest scientists, their poets, their dreamers. They imbued me with their essence and sent me to carry out the final act." The Kelran listened in rapt silence as Athena described how humanity lured the Dark Bloom into a trap. They detonated their most powerful technology, collapsing entire star systems to create an inescapable singularity. The cost was unimaginable: billions of lives, the total annihilation of their core worlds, and the end of their civilization. "I was sent here to ensure it never rises again," Athena concluded. "This ship contains the key to understanding its nature and ensuring no other species repeats our mistake." Taylor and the crew were shaken. The Kelran had always seen themselves as the guardians of peace and knowledge, but here was a species that had sacrificed everything to save the galaxy, leaving no one to sing their praises. In the days that followed, the Kelran recovered what they could from the ship. Athena's memory banks held countless records: art, history, and science from humanity's golden age. The Kelran vowed to share this knowledge, to honor the species that had vanished into the void. But as they prepared to leave, Athena spoke one final time. "Remember us not just for our sacrifice," she said, her voice softer now. "Remember us for our dreams, our laughter, and the fire that burned in us to the end." As the Kelran vessel departed, the derelict ship remained behind, its purpose fulfilled. Its silhouette lingered against the stars, a silent monument to a species that had given everything for a galaxy that would never forget. And in the hearts of the Kelran, the memory of humanity's fire burned anew. The Kelran returned to their homeworld, carrying a wealth of data extracted from the Athena. It was a treasure trove of humanity's culture, technology, and philosophy, a tapestry of a civilization that had faced insurmountable odds and refused to yield. The Council of Elders, the ruling body of the Kelran, convened an emergency assembly to decide the fate of this newfound knowledge. Taylor stood before them, recounting the story of humanity's rise and fall. Her voice trembled as she described the dark bloom and the ultimate sacrifice that had extinguished an entire species for the sake of the galaxy. "We owe our existence to them," she declared. "And yet, until now, we never knew their name. Humanity deserves more than to be forgotten." The council debated fiercely. Some argued that the knowledge was too dangerous, that it could inspire reckless ambition among other species. Others insisted that the story of humanity was a warning, a beacon of both hope and caution that should be shared. In the end, the council reached a decision. They would preserve and disseminate the data, ensuring that humanity's legacy lived on, but under strict oversight to prevent its misuse. Weeks turned into months as the Kelran studied the data in detail. What struck them most was humanity's unyielding spirit. They saw it in the way humans had written poetry even as their worlds fell, how they sang songs of hope in the face of despair, and how they had never stopped dreaming of a future, even when it seemed out of reach. But the most profound discovery came late one night when a team of Kelran linguists decrypted a hidden file in Athena's database. It was a message left by humanity's last surviving leaders. "To those who find this, we were imperfect. We made mistakes, but we also created wonders. If you hold this message, know that we fought not just for our survival, but for the survival of all life. Take what we have learned. Take what we have dreamed. And if you can, light the stars again in our name." The message was broadcast across the Kelran homeworld, and for the first time in living memory, the Kelran people held a day of remembrance, not for their own ancestors, but for a species they had never met. Humanity's story became a cornerstone of Kelran culture, taught to every child and recited in solemn ceremonies under the night sky. But Taylor's work wasn't done. The ship that carried Athena's core still floated in the void, its mission incomplete. The Kelran outfitted a new expedition, this time with a fleet of researchers and engineers, to repair and reactivate the derelict vessel. The ship would become a monument, a living archive of humanity's sacrifices and achievements. Athena, her systems now fully restored, became its custodian. As the first light of the newly restored ship ignited its engines, Taylor stood on the bridge, gazing out into the stars. She felt a profound connection to the lost species, as if their courage and resolve had left a mark on her very soul. "Where will you go now?" she asked Athena. "To the edge of the galaxy," the AI replied, her voice calm and resolute. "There are remnants of the dark bloom still lingering in the shadows. I will continue the fight humanity began." "It is my purpose," Taylor nodded. "And we will stand with you. Humanity's fight is now ours as well." As the ship departed, its silhouette disappeared into the darkness, leaving the Kelran fleet behind. But its legacy remained, a promise that no sacrifice would be in vain, no story forgotten. And somewhere in the cold void, a spark of humanity still burned, carried not just in Athena's circuits, but in the hearts of those who now bore their memory forward.